Ladies and gentlemen, in the Amhara region, a protracted and multifaceted conflict rages on, pitting the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, ENDF, against Amhara Fano forces on several fronts. In this report, I aim to provide you with a detailed overview of the latest developments emerging from the battlefield. Additionally, we have received reports from the Amhara Fano forces that signal a significant shift in the dynamics of the conflict, particularly regarding the 34th and 68th Regiments as they make concerted efforts to push the fighting out of the Amhara region to safeguard its stability and security. One of the most critical flashpoints in this ongoing struggle is the city of Hittite, where heavy combat continues to ensue between ENDF and Amhara Fano forces. Disturbingly, reports suggest that ENDF has encountered significant setbacks on this particular front, indicating a formidable and relentless resistance mounted by the Amhara Fano. This sustained conflict in Hittite has had dire consequences for the civilian population, with essential services disrupted and access to vital areas like Gonder and Kamawa severely impeded due to road closures. Adding to the grim tableau of this crisis, disturbing incidents have emerged from the town of Shua Robit, situated in northern Shua. Here, ENDF has been implicated in the tragic deaths of 4 innocent Amhara civilians. Shockingly, the lifeless bodies of 2 victims were discovered in Rasa Guba, while the remaining 2 were found in a region known as Koka. These distressing events underscore the brutal toll exacted on civilians who find themselves unwittingly embroiled in this conflict. Moreover, beyond the confines of the Amhara region, a ripple effect of turmoil has reached the capital, Addis Ababa. Reports from yesterday evening indicate a violent altercation that erupted between Eritrean individuals and native Tigrayans, resulting in a substantial number of injuries. The alarming escalation of this confrontation saw both sides resorting to crude weapons such as stones and sticks, further heightening tensions and raising pressing concerns about security and stability within the capital. The situation in the Amhara region and its environs remains fluid, marked by volatility and uncertainty. It is absolutely imperative that all parties involved prioritize the safety and well-being of civilians, adhere rigorously to international humanitarian laws, and earnestly seek peaceful. Apart from this, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has once again engaged in a critical dialogue with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, underscoring the deep-seated concerns of the United States regarding the escalating situations in the Amhara and Oromia regions of Ethiopia. This telephone exchange, which took place on a Thursday night, marks the second instance in which the U.S. government has expressed its apprehensions about the ongoing security crisis in the Amhara region. The region has been embroiled in militarized violence since April of the current year, despite the declaration of a state of emergency and leadership changes in Amhara. The conflict in Amhara persists, characterized by alarming reports of violence perpetrated against civilians, including extrajudicial killings carried out by the Federal Army. Equally distressing are the severe human rights violations, with mass identity-based detentions targeted at Amhara civilians, further exacerbating an already dire situation. In response to these grave concerns, Secretary Blinken, in his conversation with Prime Minister Abiy, emphatically stressed the urgent necessity to pursue a peaceful resolution through political dialogue and to safeguard human rights. Simultaneously, the conflict in the Oromia regional state has persisted for an extended period, embroiling both federal and regional forces and the Oromo Liberation Army, OLA. This long-standing crisis has prompted consistent expressions of concern from Secretary Blinken. His earlier discussions with Prime Minister Abiy during his initial visit to Ethiopia highlighted the urgent need for dialogue and resolution in Oromia, a region central to Ethiopia's stability and future. The dialogue between Secretary Blinken and Prime Minister Abiy extended to broader security challenges in the Horn of Africa, where the shared objective of a unified, peaceful, and prosperous Ethiopia was reaffirmed. However, the specific details of their discussions in this regard remain undisclosed, leaving room for speculation about the complexities surrounding regional security dynamics. Another critical facet of their conversation was the pressing need to enhance humanitarian oversight to allow for the resumption of food assistance. This is especially significant given the 6-month suspension of food aid delivery to Ethiopia by the USAID and WFP. The cessation of such vital aid has raised alarming concerns about rising starvation-related deaths, particularly in the Tigray region, where the humanitarian crisis has reached catastrophic proportions. Despite mounting concerns, including those voiced by the International Commission of Human Rights Experts on Ethiopia, ICRE, regarding the government's draft Ethiopia policy options for transitional justice, Secretary Blinken welcomed ongoing efforts to establish a credible transitional justice process. However, ICRE's apprehensions about quasi-compliance by the Ethiopian government underscore the need for genuine accountability and justice rather than domestic mechanisms that may not serve the interests of the countless victims of atrocities across Ethiopia. The ongoing discussions between the United States and Ethiopia reflect the international community's deep engagement with the multifaceted challenges confronting the nation. The situation remains fluid, and the path towards stability and resolution is fraught with complexity. Nevertheless, the resounding call for peace, respect for human rights, and meaningful accountability continues to be a beacon of hope amid the turmoil. International cooperation and diplomatic engagement will likely remain central to any viable solutions moving forward. The situation in the Amhara region and its environs remains fluid, marked by volatility and uncertainty. It is absolutely imperative that all parties involved prioritize the safety and well-being of civilians, adhere rigorously to international humanitarian laws, and earnestly seek peaceful, diplomatic resolutions to bring a much-needed end to this protracted and devastating conflict. Our commitment to monitoring these developments and providing timely updates persists, with the fervent hope that a path to peace may be found amidst the chaos. Thank you for staying engaged and informed about the critical developments in the Amhara and Oromia regions of Ethiopia, as well as the broader geopolitical dynamics surrounding this complex situation. In these tumultuous times, subscribing to channels and sources that provide accurate and in-depth information becomes paramount. Staying tuned to reliable news outlets and subscribing to credible channels allows us to access timely updates, analysis, and expert insights, which are crucial for grasping the evolving dynamics of conflicts like the one in Ethiopia.